the narrative for this campaign for Trump is writing itself. And what I mean by that is that people are feeling the heat where it matters most to them. That's in their bank account. That's in their pocketbook. They're being crushed by inflation. Every town is a border town. Like what's reflected in polling is like something like the top 3 issues: economy, inflation, the immigration, somewhere among the top 3. So in many ways, people feel that now in a very personal way. And all Trump has to do is just talk about it. Talk about the people.
Yeah.
So he needed to be that agent of change. Kamala needed to show the American people last night how she was going to be different from Biden, and all the fluff, because look, man, she talks like a politician, right? And this is the thing. I think Republicans
she's never really been anything else. Sean.
Yeah, she talks like a politician. She's got these like nice polished GRE words that really she talks and it sounds nice, but she doesn't really say anything, right? And she just lied up there quite a bit, but she couldn't answer the question, the very basic question of, are Americans better off today than they were 4 years ago? She could not answer the question, Rich. And I think, therefore, she wasn't able to prosecute the case of the American people of why she's going to be different than Biden. Yeah. And also what she did the whole time. Now, yes, Trump took the bait in some ways that were probably not helpful. One example was the rally size. Melanie and I are watching the debate.
Rolling your eyes like
she looks at me, I look at her, and we both start laughing because we knew that Trump was going to take the bait on the rally size thing. We knew it. We knew he was going to do it, and sure enough, he did. We were like, no, but he took the bait anyway. But my point is, all she did was she attacked Donald Trump. And she personally insulted him. She tried to demean him. She tried to emasculate him. And look, man, my perspective on this is that there are not a lot of undecided voters left in this country. No. I mean, I just think if you are an independent watching that debate last night, Trump said nothing on that stage that the independents or the American people have not heard before. Kamala, on the other hand, did a lot of unpleasant things. And man, those facial expressions, I'm telling you, bro.
Big deal.
She's going like this, bro. She's going like this, Rich. She's like, who does this? Like, who stands there and she's making these faces? I'm telling you. Yeah, it's not going to play well. And I just think that the story of the debate, obviously everyone's talking about it, are the moderators. And yeah, there are people out there saying it's a loser's game to complain about the moderators. It feels like Trump lost. But I don't think that's I disagree, because the American people, they sense it. Right? More people are paying attention now than they ever have before. The American people are coming off a situation where the media lied to them, clearly lied to them about the state of Biden's cognitive. Yes, man. Right. Yeah. And so they see that the moderators were insanely biased. And I think the story of the debate moving forward, Rich, is going to be less about substance of Kamala, less about Trump, and more about just how much the moderators sucked, much like the refs botching a play call in a playoff game that gave the game to the other team. The story of the game becomes the blown call, not the actual game itself. And that's where I'm at here. And that's why I think that these focus groups, Rich, that's why I think that the focus groups are breaking Trump, strangely enough. So you, on the other hand, I talked a lot, and normally when I have you on, I don't like to do that. I just like to listen to you.
You did, didn't you? That was good for once, right? That's Laura over here. No,
I didn't get a chance.
Refreshing.
Hey, is that Laura over there?
It is. I told you he's gonna.
Laura, get on camera, woman. Get on camera.
She won't do it. She won't do it. I've tried.
Laura, you had a little glitzy wrist. You had jewelry on the wrist and everything. See,
your little fingernails.
This is you know what this is like? This is like if you watched Inspector Gadget as a kid, like Dr. Claw with just a hand. This is unfair. We always wanted to see Dr. Claw's face. Now we can't see Laura's face. This is ridiculous.
You ever watch Home Improvement?
You're Wilson.
Yeah.
You never.
Is that Wilson, right? Wilson?
Yeah, Wilson. Yeah.
Of course.
Wilson recently died. I think, right? Didn't he? God, I think so. So James Earl Jones died the other day.
Yeah, don't come at me with any more downers, all right? We need
I know.
Listen. So tell me what you thought. Tell me, because listen, let me lay this up for the audience. Yeah. you were very, very, very fired up last night during the debate. And you and I were texting. You were very upset.
I was very pissed. I mean, listen, I don't know why anyone asked you your opinion if they're just not going to take the damn advice anyway. So, like, you know, it really bothers me when people and donors and campaign people like, oh, well, what do you, and then it's like they're surprised when what I say comes to fruition. Nothing can be more frustrating. First of all, let me just preface everything I'm about to say with what I've been prefacing everything with today. He did not need to do this debate. He had the momentum again, and he didn't need to do it. He could have won the debate without even debating and simply saying something along the lines of, I already debated the legitimate Democratic nominee. I will not lend a credibility to an illegitimate process and lend credibility to a process that disenfranchised nearly 15 million voters who voted for the legitimate nominee and sitting president, Joe Biden. She is a usurper, and that is it. And I am not going to partake in the disruption and destruction of our democracy. End of story. I will defend the 15 million people whose votes Democrats wipe their asses with and flush down the toilet. And that would have been a home run. I guarantee you, even some of those people who voted for Biden would have been like, damn, he's right. You know, like, because nobody's brought it up. The media sure has not even brought it up. It would have told those people in the middle that Trump is a bigger man who cares about bigger things than debating rally sizes, which is what they wanted him to do, and he did. So let's make something very clear right now. I'm going to break a lot of Trumper hearts out there. Donald Trump is not the great debater that you think he is. He's entertaining as hell, but he is not a great debater. All right. He goes up there. I could get under his skin in a second and make him flip his shit. All right. He is not a composed, great debater. And they got him to do exactly what they wanted him to. All right. That being said, he certainly was still better than like the Biden-Trump debate one, the first one.
That's certainly. I'm so glad that you brought that up.
Certainly better. It was not that kind of a train wreck, Sean. All right. But he shouldn't have been there to begin with. Let's be real. Secondly, you are 100% correct that she needed a much bigger night than this. Let's cut the crap. She's down in her own polling. Democrats who know, you know, who really are in the know. The show is for you folks at home. All right. In the behind closed doors in the real world, Democrats began to panic like crazy about a week and a half ago because her response bias fuel lead began to evaporate quickly. Minnesota went from 10 points to 5. She's down in not only her own poll in Michigan, but in the two native pollsters who media and everyone go to every year, Glenn Garriff Group and Epic MRA. All right, and by the way, neither pollster ever had Trump up in Michigan in either 16 or 20. So that was the state of the race going into this thing. So I don't understand why he just didn't lay out what I just said and what I said to lay out and move on. So here we are now. Fast forward. I understand. You know what you said about the media. I just don't like people who lament it after the fact and then don't say anything or speak up before you make a mistake like Trump's campaign made. All right. So like I'm all alone going, don't debate her. This is bull. This is a trap. Don't do it. It's David Muir, the head of NBC, the head of ABC, is personal friends with Kamala Harris. She's married because they introduced her husband. I mean, her to her husband. Like, it's an incestuous relationship. These are totally corrupt people, and you are falling for it. It doesn't matter how well he may think he did. They were looking for what they got last night. So they can push a BS narrative, which will then they can use to exploit the response bias in the polls and put out their Harris +2 to 5s and everything else for the next 6 weeks, which we're all going to have to tolerate now. But here's the kicker. With all that being said, I'm a little bit surprised because I'm starting to dig into the numbers and give it a couple of days so everything we really know for sure. You know, you have the Reuters focus group. That is a small sample size. Ours really is not, and we're still working on it. But if Reuters isn't alone, there have been many other focus groups from media outlets to personal consultants, and they're all hearing the same thing. It's a headline in the New York Times right now. Beltway pundits agree. New York
pundits say Harris won debate. Undecideds weren't so sure. The Reuters you have here, some undecided voters not convinced by Harris after debate.
2 to 1. And that's funny because their sample's so small, but their sample looks like our sample, which we'll show everybody on Friday on Inside the Numbers. And our sample is not small. All right. We had several hundred people who were undecided from the last poll that we conducted. And we asked them, are you going to watch the debate? 88% about just under said they were going to watch it. I don't believe it and didn't believe it. We'll see if they actually did. All right. But we asked them if they did, if they were undecided or leaning and they were going to watch the debate. We said, hey, can we contact you the day after the debate and ask you a few questions? And we're getting these results now. And by the time of the show this afternoon, I could already see that our focus, like whatever you want to call it, post-debate focus poll, is looking a lot like Reuters. This is what I want to read. 2 things, one from mine, one from Reuters, if you don't mind. All right.
I don't mind. No, go ahead.
Reuters, and I didn't get her permission to release a name, but I'll read what's going on. All right. But Reuters obviously did. Robert Wheeler, 48, a security firm executive in Nevada, was leaning toward Harris. So in other words, in the poll, when they say I'm undecided, and then you push them and you lean them, like I talk about on your show all the time. If you had to decide, who would you vote for? If the election was today and you had no choice and you had to make up your mind, who are you going to vote for? This guy, when push came to shove, said, I'm voting for Harris. But now he says, if the election was held tomorrow, he's voting for Trump. Here's why. Quote, I felt like the whole debate was Kamala Harris telling me why not to vote for Donald Trump instead of why she's the right candidate. Okay. Yes. We're hearing this everywhere. Listen to this. Okay. 53-year-old voter from California. All right. Is an independent, but leans to the left. There's Roman. Roman, go with mommy. Daddy's on the show.
Wait,
oh my God. Why does Laura allow this child to come barreling in? When
I would love to hear Roman's thoughts on the debate.
He's gonna. You don't
Savage Roman
because when he's on Nickelodeon, I tell him the deal, bro. All right, this woman is not somebody to look up to. All right, and my daughter did the same thing with her. I do not. If you turned out to be like her, Daddy's going to be very disappointed. I want you to get where you are in life, where you get in life, based on the sweat of your brow and your own ambition, your hard work, and because you earned it, and because you kept your character and you deserve it, not because you're her. And you see the Willie tape floating around. The funny thing about when they go up and say, "Hey, are you his daughter?"
We played it yesterday.
She's banging him at that moment. All right, and he's married. It's disgusting. Look at the damn contrast. But she's willing to bang an old fat man so she can get ahead. Come on, man. My daughter's not gonna look up to your ass. No, thank you. All right. So listen to this. 53-year-old California woman. All right. And says she's independent, but slightly.
What is wrong?
She normally votes Democrat, although she admitted that she has voted for Republicans in the past. But get this. Squishy rhinos, squishy rhinos. She doesn't like Trump and she doesn't like MAGA. All right. And this is what she said. Actually, I thought Trump was great. This was the best I've ever seen him in a debate. And then she goes on to lay out about how she wanted Kamala Harris to convince her to vote for her. Convince me that you are not going to be as bad as Joe Biden, who she voted for. And now she's saying, I hate to say it, but if the election is tomorrow, I have to vote for Donald Trump. This is I'm like, what the hell is going on here?
Rich, a couple things. I do think it's the environment, man. I think people, I played a clip from a swing voter, independent voter from Wisconsin, who was straight up saying the same thing 2 days ago or yesterday on the show where she's saying, do I think Trump's a good person? Absolutely not. I don't like him. I don't like him at all. But life was better under Trump. I think this election comes down to that.
Mike Lindell here, and like you, I see our country being destroyed daily. We face massive economic issues, and I can tell you from firsthand experience, there are people in power who threaten the values that have made our country great. Well, I've been a believer in gold and silver for a long time, and I've searched for years for a partner that shares my values. Well, Genesis Gold Group showed me how easy it is to protect your IRA, 401k, or your retirement with gold and silver. Their faith-driven approach to service and stewardship is one that stands out from the rest.
To get your free definitive gold guide and get started learning more about investing in gold and protecting your retirement from uncertain times, visit treasureandtrust.com now. Fill out the basic contact form and a member of the team will be in touch. Again, that's treasureandtrust.com or call 855-625-7760.